us get right into tonight's stream. Not tonight, this morning's stream, actually, because it is currently 11 o'clock, but at any rate, hello everyone, I am TheBlueBadger. I'm a Friday streamer here on Twitch, and I play a wide array of games from Fall to Elder Scrolls to Baldur's Gate 3, Hearts of Iron 4, and really just any other game that just happens to suit my fancy at any given time. And today, on our bi-weekly Sunday variety stream, we are going to be starting up a brand new campaign in Hearts of Iron 4. We are going to be doing yet another Altis Ironman run. This time, however, we will be playing as Germany, but we will not be sticking around with its current government at all. But essentially, our plan is to go Ironman mode, and I do have some rules here going. Essentially, the only thing that I'm going to be guaranteeing is that Britain stays its historic self, the Russians go fascist, as well as the US, just to keep things going that way. But everything else, though, is going to be completely randomized, so I have no idea what's going to actually happen. But, yeah, essentially, let us get started then. And, of course, I do have everything going, and you know what, I'm just gonna overwrite this one here. Okay, there we go. But, yeah. And we do have all the DLCs currently going, including the latest one. I forget the name of it, but it essentially reworked the Middle East countries of Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and even India, too. So, we shall see how things go. I actually haven't really tested that DLC out yet, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens here. Okay. And, you know, we'll put you in charge here. And we'll just have you start that project. And, oh, actually, let me... It's that I was actually doing a little bit of other stuff then, too. The, that's that I've been playing some of the Old World Blues mod for Hearts of Iron 4 that essentially makes it the a version of Fallout, so it's been a lot of fun. And we'll eventually get back to that mod, too, so... Yeah, we'll just put all of them on here, I suppose. Actually... Nah, we'll just keep it that way. Alright. But... And let me just turn down the hair. Alright. And we'll get things started here, then. Just start with our usual economic and military stuff here. Just get all that good jazz taken care of. Yeah, we'll do you. Okay. And let us start going down the appropriate paths here. So we definitely have a few different things, but nope, we are not going down the historic route, like I said. So instead, we are going to work on removing the Austrian painter currently in charge. But Hitler's reign must come to an end. He means to provoke the Western powers by militarizing the Rhineland. But doing so will give us the excuse we need to seize power with the help of loyal elements in the Wehrmacht and rally the people of Germany against him. Alright. And we will start that one. And before we actually start the timer, then, I do want to take a look at this stuff here. Alright. And... yeah, that'll do. Okay. And probably just some of those things. And let's actually take care of just some of this stuff here then too. I definitely prefer to just automatically go into these different locations here, because Honestly, just having them all go into a reserve fleet does kind of bug me. It just, when I want to just make sure that everything is organized properly. Because I do want to make things a little better when compared to the last Altist Ironman campaign that we did as the United States. So, let's see how things go. Transport plane and... Oh, naval bomber. Okay. Yeah, I suppose we'll have to get some of that stuff. And where are our transport planes? There we go. Well, keep it there for now. Simply because I know it's going to come. Let's at least start getting some civilian factories built in Eastern Germany, or Western Germany here, I guess I should say, because that will be useful for the fight ahead. And we'll just... Oh, jeez. Smiley day to you as well there, Morbid. Jeez. That kind of caught me off guard. I was not expecting that to come in. But hello there, my friend. I hope that your day is doing good. And yeah. So welcome in. Your timing is perfect because we are actually just getting started here. So. Morbid Duck. Like to make an entrance. Don't we all? It's definitely fun to do that occasionally, so I'm not complaining. But loyalty to the Kriegsmarine. It has come to our attention that the Kriegsmarine may opt to side with Hitler when we execute our coup. The reason seems to be that their leader, Erich Reiter, has been promised by Hitler that his branch of the military will gain heavy investments and freedoms under his regime, something the old government failed to achieve. Perhaps we should make similar promise in an effort to sway him to our side. Okay. You know what? We'll actually do that, because not only will it give us a little bit of naval experience, but it'll give us a larger portion of the Navy. Although it will prompt us to have to rebuild the Navy, though, once we do take power, but that won't be an issue, because I know I was kind of hoping to do that anyhow, at some point. So, let's continue down the path. And yeah, then obviously, too, just the fact that we have the alternate history option going. It'll be interesting to see what all the other countries do. Because at the moment, only the UK, France... I mean, not France. The UK, Russia, and the US have options selected. Everyone else is just whatever the AI ends up going for. Is this similar to Civ? Kind of. It's that there obviously are a lot of differences when compared to Civilization. Like, for one thing, you don't actually get to found any, like, new cities. But you basically are able to, like, build certain industries, infrastructure, as well as, like, research centers, things like that, as well as recruit and deploy new units, as well as build up production. But other than that, though, there are a number of differences. So. And yeah, we shall... Okay, we do have enough here to do something here. You know what? I'll wait until after our coup, then we'll actually proceed. Oh, speaking of experimenting, we actually do have a little bit of a... Oh, okay, so we just gained some experience. That's not too much, then. Alright, and our coup should commence, then, in a matter of days here. Okay. And it'll be good, because definitely don't want to deal with that. But Wehrmacht officers challenge Hitler. Latent dissatisfaction with Hitler's rule has come to a head. I'm actually going to turn down the music here a little more here, I think. There, okay. come to a head with the current crisis, caused by the administration's move to remilitarize the Rhineland. A number of Wehrmacht generals have rallied behind well-known Field Marshal August von Maxen, who has put in motion plans aiming to depose him, and to remove the Nazi Party from Germany. With the split in the German High Command becoming clearly apparent even abroad, foreign powers have elected not to protest against the remilitarization, more concerned with the growing internal German instability. The aging Field Marshal has moved quickly, already establishing a provisional government to which scores have flocked to their opposition to the Nazi government. The military coup is already well underway. Alright. There we go. So now we are embroiled in a civil war that we are going to have to take care of first before we can actually take care of things properly. So let us first just mobilize our army here, and thankfully the vast majority of Germany's officers are actually on our side. So that's a nice touch. Alright. Place them there on front. And I do see that they do appear to have 2 units. So I'm just going to have this unit here just kind of hold as best it can in Königsberg. Okay. Yeah, Kessler in charge. And I am actually going to redeploy these aircraft from the east to the west. Just so that I can things going here. And there. Oh, and we got a few different ones. Germany embroiled in the Civil War. A sudden Wehrmacht coup led by the famed Field Marshal August von Mackensen has triggered a civil war in Germany early this morning. Fascists, royalists, and Democrats alike have taken up arms against their former countrymen, and military units have been removed from the borders to see this internal threat. The fascists, under orders from Hitler, have already vowed to destroy the nation rather than see it fall to treasonous Germans. And then, in other news, Turkey militarizes Turkish Straits. Turkey and the Soviet Union have come to an agreement on revising the Treaty of Lausanne, which was signed and implemented after the nascent Republic of Turkey repulsed the Entente in the Turkish War of Independence. The treaty has long been decried as an assault on Turkish sovereignty, but today the treaty was finally amended in favor of the newly legalized Montreux Convention. Turkey now has complete control over traffic that passes in and out of the Turkish Straits, and states around the Straits have now been remilitarized by Turkey. British observers, who were part of the process, are merely satisfied that the conflict in the region has been avoided. Now the Treaty of the Great War is broken. And that's kind of interesting. I believe that's still the same option that happens in the vanilla game, but I could be wrong about that. And we'll continue here and take a sip of coffee there too. But actually, I'm gonna put my headphones down here and put on my helmet since here, that's good enough. Just because I kind of want to immerse myself into the roleplay here a little bit. Alright, but we will keep this there, but let us actually continue on with this. Rally the nation. There are many within our nation who are willing to stand up against the Nazis now that the opportunity has arrived. We should rally the people and perhaps even make contact with paramilitary organizations with experience of fighting against the Nazis ever since the days of the Weimar Republic. And doing this will increase our war support, decrease support for fascism, and give us the spirit of rally the nation. So do that. Okay. War has begun. Oh, and we still have oh, right. Those there, so we'll have them. Okay, expatriated communists returning home. With the recent Wehrmacht coup against the Nazi regime, many communists who previously left the country are now flooding back in over our borders, as they see their opportunity to aid in our battle against those who once wronged them. Should we allow them to fight, or should we try to sweep their return under the rug in hopes that they will not become popular enough to stage a revolution of their own? Hey, someone needs to keep an eye on them. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this one. Just go with the non-aligned option. Is that if we were doing a communist run of Germany, I'd opt to actually do that, but no. But Nazi expulsion takes heavy toll on Mecklenburg. Okay, well, that stinks. And how are we doing here? Obviously, since they have that. Ooh, actually, let's build up a fort there, I think. And just try and help with the defenses a little more. Because they are still outnumbered, like, 2 to 1, so having that would be beneficial. Okay. Let's see what else we can do here. Let's do basic fortifications. Do we still have our, No, that's not what I wanted to do. No, they do have control of the facility, so that's unfortunate. Just have to take care of it. The reformation of our military wings. Our politicians and generals have recently been discussing the idea of introducing our military wings into our ranks of our soldiers, with conservative parties wishing to reestablish the Bismarck Youth, the anti-Marxist youth movement associated with the DNVP. Others, however, see the already combating Social Democratic, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, front as a prime organization to strengthen, if we wish to use more paramilitaries within our armed forces. Okay. Okay, we'll empower the Iron Front because we are going down the democratic route here, so we'll go with that, and it'll increase manpower and population, as well as increase the support for democracy. Alright, and what else? Wait on things there. Let's see what else we could do. If there's anything else we could do. Four-year plan or prior. You know what? We'll prioritize economic growth. Years of neglect and fiscal policies have almost ruined our economy. We must build tractors instead of tanks, hand out shovels instead of rifles, prioritize economic growth instead of growing the arms industry. Although, do I want to do this now or later? Yeah, screw it. I already said it, so yeah, we'll just do that one. Alright. Covert assistance in return for Baku oil fields. Anti-communist groups in Manchuria are plotting against Joseph Stalin. They plan to overthrow the Bolsheviks with another civil war. Representatives from this group have approached us, asking for help with covert military buildup in return for future oil rights in the Baku region. Okay. So what are our options? Did not get involved. We have option to just get the oil fields or to, you know what, we'll do this one. This way we can actually send them some, military advisors then too. So, another explosion. Okay, and now the Franken region. And we are slowly making our way towards Berlin. And the Second London Naval Treaty has been signed. Delegates from Britain, France, Italy, Japan, and the U.S. met in December of 1935 to discuss the renewal of the First London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and size of cruisers and the submarines. The negotiations turned quite heated over Italy's war in Ethiopia and Japan's desire to be seen as equal to Britain and the U.S. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on limits to the size of battleships and aircraft carriers in the hopes of preventing another ruinous arms race. Yeah, why would they restrict them like that? Good, so... Wait, what the heck happened? Oh, wait, it might be because of... Oh, we were supporting the Soviets. And Volperman now has some damage to it. And machine guns are done. Right. Let's get some interwar artillery built. Okay. Bavaria. The Libyan Socialist Revolution in 1936 found the largest strike movement until now in Bolivia. The military, under the young Lieutenant Colonel Germain Bush, moved to overthrow the Genuine Republic government of Jose Luis Trajeda Sorzano. It claimed that, unlike Trajeda, they stand on the side of the Bolivian people and its socialist ideals. And now, with the recognition of Trajeda, they have assumed full control of Bolivia. Right. Let's actually cut these off here. At least try to. Push them into the Swiss Alps. Okay, we do have our first station there. And we could probably cut them off here. No, let's actually look. Okay. Now let's here. So if we can eliminate this pocket of resistance, then we'll be good and ready to go then. Set this way, then we can focus the entire army north. Oh, we actually do that first thing. And we'll do a denazification campaign. In order to truly rid ourselves of the Nazi disease that has inflicted the very heart of the German military junta, we must put extensive effort into denazifying and arresting Nazis or those who harbor them as soon as we find them out. We shall. Okay. Let's... And another split there. Well, looks like our defenses are holding out them too over in Königsberg, so that's good for us. And let's finish this pocket resistance here. And a communist coup in Ethiopia. Members of the military and the anti-fascist organization known as the Black Lions have orchestrated a coup against the imperial government of Haile Selassie. The emperor was due to inspect the troops when he was ambushed by them and placed under arrest. Meanwhile, in Addis Ababa, the Black Lions captured key infrastructure of the city, including the emperor's residence. Many loyalists from the military and police have been killed in minor skirmishes, but what remains of the nation is now under control of a communist-leaning provisional government. The majority of the people, exhausted by the War of Italy, have simply accepted the authority of their new government. Actually, I'm kind of curious, what is the... Okay, so it does look like Italy is still making progress there. Although we'll see if they actually end up winning the war or not, because I know sometimes it can bog down into kind of a Cold War-like scenario there. denazification campaign. We'll wait on that one there. Okay. Let's construct the Autobahn here. Actually, no. What else can we do then in the meantime? You know what? Let's actually work on the military. We must recognize the evolving nature of modern warfare and develop a new doctrine emphasizing the integration of infantry and new techniques to maximize our military effectiveness on the battlefield. And the last few pockets of resistance here. And we took out a number of their troops. Okay. You know what? Let's actually see what the what it's looking like right now. Ooh, definitely a bloody one, regardless. So the fascists have lost the most, 183,000. We've lost 125,000. So let's redeploy our here and get ready for a final assault on Berlin. Alright. And we will drive them straight to the Polish border. Okay. And we'll refocus our force over in this part of Germany here, I'm thinking. Perfect. Oh, I forgot to move these ones over. Go. Okay, and we will see how fast we're able to get to Berlin then. And Hinterpommern. It's been pretty much leveled by all the fighting. Just to secure control over Hinterpommern, but fighting has been severe. The Nazis grow ever more fanatical and desperate as we advance. We're fighting until the surrounding area lies in ruins. There have also been reports of scorched earth tactics in accordance with Hitler's Nero, the Nero Decree. That's essentially what that is. Okay. We can undoubtedly expect further destruction on the scale until we end this war. Small price to pay to rid the fatherland of the Nazi scum. We're definitely getting closer to the end here. And actually, since we're going to have to do it anyway, let's also strengthen the Kriegsmarine while we're at it. The Anglo-German Naval Agreement we secured in 1935 allows us to expand our navy greatly. We should spare no effort in doing so. Because so we get through all that, the better. Alright, and now we have our research center back. Put you back and get back to work on those factories there. And Berlin is now under attack. So fortifications are done. Let's to research at this point. You know what? Let's do a radio, actually. Get that taken care of. And Berlin is ours. Once the expulsion takes heavy toll on Brandenburg. We have finally managed to secure control of Brandenburg, but fighting has been severe. And it's the same message there, so. And Hitler found dead. With the capture of Berlin, our troops discovered the corpse of Hitler in a bunker in the city, choosing death over seeing anti-fascist elements take over the country. The leader evidently took his own life rather than risk capture. In his stead, Heinrich Himmler has now stepped up to lead the Nazis. Has already affirmed that the government will not abate their fight against anti-German treason. Okay. So, with that, Himmler is now in charge. done quite yet. And reestablish the secrets wing. Reestablishing the Maritime Naval Command will advise the planning and implementation of naval orders and direct deployment. Rebellion in Silesia. Actually, that is a good point. And we're not going to be able to do that for a while yet. Okay. We may just have to deal with a Silesian revolt here. We'll see. German operative captured. There. And let's get some anti-tank weapons built. And we made some progress there. So that's good. Oh shit. Well, I was unable to read that, but we do have this though. The Fourth Silesian Uprising. Reports have reached us that Silesian Polish partisans opening fire on German soldiers in Silesia, seek independence for the nation, and saw our civil war as a sign of weakness that must be needed in order to muster up the courage to secede. We must ensure that their goals aren't achieved and that their rebellion is put down as hastily as possible. And that we will. Alright, and there goes me. Take all of our territory back. And we are still, unfortunately, going to have to take care of these rebels here. Okay. Okay. And the German Civil War ends. Then it's back on. But the German Civil War ends. The Civil War that has racked Germany has now come to an end. The fighting was extraordinarily intense, with fanatical resistance by the Nazis causing devastation on a scale reminiscent of the Great War. It appears Hitler is dead and the Nazi leadership imprisoned or executed. The provisional government has now announced that it's necessary to secure hold over the state and ensure the return of stability to the nation before there can be any thought of embarking the process of constitutional reforms. Alright, and Nazi leadership captured. At last, we have freed our country from the grip of our enemies, and those loyal citizens who rose up to support our cause may now finally return to their homes. As a nation, we may begin the long and arduous process of rebuilding our nation. The country's leadership, in turn, is free to begin looking ahead at what might come to the future. Democracy or a return to the old monarchy. Toast radioactive. Beat up the Nazis. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Because now we do have a couple of different options. We can either imprison them for life or hang them. And we're going to hang them. Alright, the future of paramilitary wings. With the Civil War having come to an end and the Nazi regime having been fully dismantled, it has come into question whether it is really a wise move to allow political paramilitary organizations to operate freely within our country, seeing as the junta has little to no formal control over them. It might be wise to ban them and force their disbandment. Otherwise, we could perhaps attempt to keep them around and just scale them down enough to the point that they wouldn't be a threat. Okay. And definitely looks like we get a little more options here, so we will attempt to disband them all together. Alright. And let's put down the Silesian revolt here. But, von Mackensen retires from the military. Victory over the Nazi menace secured. The head of the military government, August von Mackensen, has once again decided to step back from field command due to his age and worsening condition. He has stated that he will simply help with administrative duties from now on. And he has served us well. Alright. And we will tend to the future of Germany. Now that Germany has been successfully saved from the Nazis, we must look forward towards new horizons inside the future trajectory of our nation for unity, justice, and freedom. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. And Silesia is once again under our control. I am curious, though, if it's going to... Nope, it does go back to the German names. So. Just kind of curious there for a moment if it would keep the Polish. Okay. Now, the war's done, we can actually take care of a couple of other things here. You know what? Actually, I think we're probably going to take some of these here. That way we can just start getting some. Hold up, was that actually... Oh, I actually had a lot more political power than I thought. I thought I only had like 300 some, but no. Okay, what else can we get here? You know what? Let's actually... It's here. We'll put Raider in charge of the military there. And... yeah, get a mobile warfare expert going. Take care of all that then, too. Okay. And may as well take care of these things here then. Yeah. Alright. What else do we have? And minor test failure. Okay. So we lost some progress on that, so that stinks. Alright. Growing public dissent. With the Civil War finally at an end, we are slowly rebuilding the nation. While the people are longing for stability and security, but have growing feeling being driven without overall goal or aim, the populace is growing wary of this uncertainty and is demanding steady course of action. Okay. How long do we have, then? 100 days. Okay. And we need to, if not... Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to go down the path here. And we're gonna go down this route here. That we're planning on going as a constitutional monarchy, so we're gonna have to go down this path here. Monarchist sentiment. The people want a monarchy, and that is what they will get. Though the specific form of government has not yet been decided upon, it is nonetheless clear that the German people need their Kaiser back. So, and that'll help with the public dissent we are getting. Kind of surprised we haven't gotten the Olympics notification to pop. Oh, speak of the devil. Games of the 11th Olympiad. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in undamaged parts of devastated, newly rebuilt Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games, the symbol of renewed German national unity, were also a significant propaganda victory from the new German regime, which, despite the tremendous cost of rebuilding the nation after the Civil War, spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. We have shown our best side to the world. And there's that. Okay. And next on the list, we will go down this path here. The Monarchy Compromise. The military that fought for our freedom from the Nazi tyranny have clear royalist leanings, and to ensure their satisfaction with the path of the nation is taking, we must make a compromise and allow the return of the monarchy. However, it will be through Wilhelm III instead of Wilhelm II. It's kind of... You know what? Let's actually take a moment to just look around, see what the other countries are doing. Okay, change of course. Oh, so they're ignoring the command I gave them, so they're doing something. Not entirely sure what. And France... I don't know what they're doing yet. Obviously, we do have the civil war that is coming with the Soviets, since we were helping to fund them with their rebels, which, should they win, will give us access to the Baku oil fields. That will be helpful. Italy, still under control of the Duce. It does look like they are pretty close to winning in Ethiopia here. And not the Belgian Congo. Anything going on? Nothing yet. And yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how things in the Middle East go here. Because I haven't really done a whole lot with the latest DLC yet. So, okay. But, Spain's world and its civil war. Okay. But, honestly, I'm kind of more curious to see what everyone else will end up doing. You know, just dawned on me, I should probably... Holy moly! We do not have a lot of... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. Because eventually we're gonna have to rearm ourselves after that fight. But evidently now is not that time. What else? Yeah, let's do construction. Speaking of construction, we essentially have no factories available at the moment. You know what? Yeah, I'll just partially mobilize. Because there, now we actually have some things going. Okay. And we will reestablish free elections. We will make a return to democratic ideals by reinstating free elections to be held at a point in the near future. That should hopefully take care of let me on public dissent. Okay, so we essentially just have to swap something out here. Oh, some news from Brazil here. Royal wedding in Brazil. Today, Dom Duarte Uno, Duke of Braganza, married Princess Maria Francesca of Orleans in the Metropolitan Cathedral in Brazil. This marriage has not only reconciled the Portuguese and Brazilian Brigantine houses, but has also united the Miguelist and liberal Raganas, leaving behind the rivalries between the Portuguese royal family and stirring up the monarchist sentiment in both countries. It is said that following the ceremony, Dom Duarte engaged in several conversations with known Brazilian and Portuguese royalist ladies and gentlemen, where the words restoration and monarchy were openly pronounced. Huh. So it looks like that Brazil and Portugal might unite at some point down the road, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And... okay. And we'll focus on long range for our ships here. And goodbye. I really need to find a way to turn that down. It is just really loud every time it does that. And I do not know why. It just makes that noise every time there's like a new announcement or whatever in my chat, so... okay. Yeah. So hopefully this will be done here. And we'll probably do those three then. And then we'll focus on kind of the economy and the Navy. This way we don't have the Kriegsmarine revolts on us. And it looks like they are just going to make a ceasefire. The Italio-Ethiopian ceasefire agreement. With the war and the People's Democratic Republic of Ethiopia descending into a war of attrition, the Italians have been forced into a ceasefire negotiations. Most expected the Ethiopian military to simply dissolve following the recent communist uprising in the country. However, Al-Warg has managed to turn the war around, saving much of the nation from Italian occupation. However, with much of East Africa still under Italian rule, it is unclear if this uneasy peace will last. So, that's interesting. And that will probably have negative consequences for the Duce then at a later point in time. Okay. Return of democracy. With the return of free elections, the German people have flocked to the polling stations to determine the future of Germany. A sense of euphoria is running rampant through the streets, with widespread feelings of finally leaving the dark days behind, making the state feel more like a celebration than a national election. Okay. And what do we do? We need a forward-looking socialist. We need a cautious traditionalist. Democratic Party will be called the Social Democratic Party Deutschland. Okay. You know what? We'll go with the cautious traditionalist. So, and we have Konrad Alder here then as our new chancellor. Okay. And did that get rid of the, Yes, it did. Okay. Good. It's a little concerned there. But let's rebuild the nation here. We must focus all our efforts in rapid reconstruction if we wish to recover from ousting the Nazi blight. The people will have to live modest and work hard in the meantime, but will surely do so with the promise of a better tomorrow. Take care of that. And we'll continue concentrating on our industry here then too, so. Okay. Oh, and now we are known as the Kingdom of Germany. So, I mean, it makes sense. We are a constitutional monarchy now, so. But what else do we take care of here? Let's get some field hospitals going. Yeah, take care of that. Do all this here then too. And we get some news from our experimentations. Oh, neat. So that helped a little bit. Should probably these other things here then. You know, actually, yeah. We'll just have all of our there. And we're gonna need some 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. That'll do. Alright. Okay. Oh, the Great Game. This is a new thing. So it's kind of interesting how we still have access to the Great Game, even though we're not even in Afghanistan. Demand anti-fascist influence, demand anti-communist influence. So, okay. Let's keep going here. Oh, shit. Peasant uprising in Krakow. The young state of Poland has erupted into civil war. Decades of government infighting and total lack of investment in infrastructure in the rural eastern Poland led to a general strike from the nation's lower classes earlier this year. And the continued brutal treatment of the strikers by police and military has split the nation in two. The peasant government, headed by Stanislaw Mik... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, is backed by a Democratic Front Morgus faction of the Polish military and a coalition of Marxists, socialists, and liberals. With loyalist forces consolidated in the eastern heart of Poland and the peasants in the rural east, Poland is divided by the blood of the peasants. And what will this mean for Poland? So, set now, they are basically embroiled in what's essentially a communist revolution. And revitalize the nation. After the ravages of the Civil War, we must look to rebuilding our nation. We will ask the people to set aside their personal comforts for a time so that we may focus all our resources on attaining this goal. And then once that's done, we will turn our attention to take care of business with the military. Navy. In a fascist coup in Chile. Reports come in at the Movement Nacional Socialista, led by Jorge González von Mares, has successfully executed a coup d'etat and established Vanguard Chile as one part of state ruled by them. They have ties to the global fascist movement, but it is still uncertain if they will join any of the world powers or keep to their own continent. So Chile has gone fascist then. And that is done. Okay, communists in the government. The communist movement in the Kingdom of Germany, fueled by broad dissatisfaction among the working class and radical trends among academics, has grown large enough to be led to the formation of several parties. After one of these has gained considerable support in the current elections, politicians in the Zentrum have started debating whether or not to seek their support in forming a government. Although they consider our democratic institutions to be more bourgeoisie tyranny, they seem eager to make the changes they want to see through cooperating with the government rather than overthrowing it. Okay. Reform rather than revolution. A broad coalition of democratic parties is preferable. Yeah, we'll do that one. Gives us a little more support for democracy. Okay. Although it does give us a little bit of a hit to our stability. Okay. Start food. Actually. Yeah, I'll put him in charge. Should hopefully help us. Oh yeah, that definitely did help us. Okay. So now we actually have a lot more industries going. Okay. And what have we got? Oh, hang on. I know exactly what one I want to do. Let's do the signal companies here. Okay. But yeah, we have one country in civil war, and in addition to Spain, obviously. So. Okay. And revitalizing the nation is almost done, so that's good. Okay. And we'll, oh, something actually started there. So. Let's... Actually, what all do I need to do for this one again? I need to rebuild the high seas fleet, reach the 6 crit 10. Okay, there we go. I'll go down at the plan Z here there. Admiral Raider believes that the British can best be defeated through a policy of surface raiding. Constructing enough battleships and carriers to accomplish this will be a massive task, and will take time, perhaps too much time. On the other hand, our current surface navy is pathetic and inadequate. So, yeah, we'll start the rebuilding of our navy here. Speaking of which, I should probably start looking at upgrading the forces in our navy. So, definitely get to that at a later point here. And continue going down the path of mobile warfare. Looks like peasants here are kind of working. Oh, Carlist uprising in the Spanish Civil War. Wary of being increasingly sidelined and having their influence over the nationalist front more and more curtailed, Carlist forces under Manuel Conde have renounced their affiliation with the nationalist cause, declaring their own independent insurrection. Carlist Rickens, predominantly in the north of the country, have turned on their erstwhile allies, while at the same time continuing the fight against the Republican enemies. The effectiveness of their military position in the Civil War are being downplayed by the nationalist leadership, but it is evident that the current chaos presents ample opportunity to the Republicans. Assuming, that is, they don't end up having the oh anarchist uprising against them. Okay, North recover from Civil War. People call themselves German. We must put an effort to reconstruct all public works. Okay. And we'll be able to do 2 of them, so Western and Northern for now. Okay. Yeah, I definitely have a feeling that the Polish peasant resistance here is going to win. Especially from the fact that it has communist leanings here. Oh, got a few different things going on. Okay. First things first. You know what? We'll actually do it in the order that we see it here. Denmark offers a trade proposal. The Danish delegation has approached us with a trade proposal. Denmark produces a large amount of food products, of which we have imported quite a bit historically. They recently devalued their domestic currency, the krone, making their agricultural goods far more competitive. This trade agreement could prove quite a boon for us, as it would secure food for our population and strengthen our supply lines. And we will definitely take that. But, then here's the, bigger story, obviously. The Second Russian Civil War. Rather unexpectedly, the White forces have risen up against the Bolsheviks once more. Their cause may have seemed lost, but over the last months, there have been several reports of a military buildup in Manchuria and Siberia. And earlier this morning, a provisional government of Russia was proclaimed in Chita. The Soviet government immediately mobilized the Red Army, and once again Russia is embroiled in a civil war. The Western powers have so far shown no interest in intervening in the conflict, and it remains, however, to be seen how the Japanese will react to this turn of events. And they are on their own this time. Sending advisors to the provisional Russian government. Civil war has once again broken out in Russia. The provisional government leads the war against Joseph Stalin, and if the rebels are successful, we have a lot to gain. We promise them support, and Gert von Rundstedt and von Klubscher are ready to go to the provisional government to help plan the war and gain valuable insights into Russian military capacity. Alright, and we will send them over there. And it'll be interesting to see how this war actually ends up going. But the Hindenburg accident. Disaster was narrowly averted today when a diesel leak was discovered on the German passenger airship Hindenburg as it came into dock at the Hist Naval Air Station in the United States. The leak was promptly repaired, and had it gone unnoticed, the flammable vapor could have resulted in a fire that would have engulfed the entire airship. Critics have long questioned the wisdom of passenger airships given their spotty safety records, and this incident is bound to make them even more vocal. So, close call. Okay. And let me actually just check one more thing. Okay, so we do have a little more time there. And we'll increase the public works there as well. Actually, of course, we have calls the... Oh, maybe not. Okay. But, let me actually just double check. So we need to have, high seas fleets and we establish them. Okay. So we basically have, that one done. So we just need to get down to the high seas fleet. So we will continue that one. Expand the Ehrenwerft. We must double down on our efforts to build a navy to rival that of our enemies by deploying technologies at the forefront of shipbuilding and constructing cutting-edge warships. We will assuredly wrestle the control of the high seas from our foes' control. Right. And yeah, it seems there are pockets of resistance popping up all over Russia here. Okay. So. Yeah, that's louder than I thought. Never mind. So, yeah, we'll see how this war turns out for the Russians here. So, hopefully it goes pretty well for them. Actually, nah, we'll keep that off for now. Definitely need to adjust those volumes there properly. Okay. So that's okay. Oh, we have a few different things. Okay. The Little Entente reaffirmed. Czechoslovakia today has announced that the almost defunct Little Entente alliance system will stand by their commitments. A statement released by the Foreign Office announced Czechoslovakia is a great power. Not a great power, but it is a regional power. It is our firm belief that an alliance of regional powers can and will prevent the so-called great powers from meddling in our affairs. We'll make short work of them regardless. And the Black Shirts organized in the UK. Under the leadership of Oswald Mosley, the British Union of Fascists has begun organizing a campaign of marches across the country, thus seeking to grow a number of fascist supporters throughout the UK. The violent counter-reaction by anti-fascist elements of the public have already caused a number of street fights. However, it is uncertain whether stability will be maintained or whether the political unrest will become even worse. The BUF leadership for their part, have already vowed not to stop until they have marched on Downing Street and demand that a change of government. Well, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping that they'd maintain their allied tendencies, but evidently not. Okay. Czech Entente. Yeah, that's kind of interesting that they're going down that route. And then again, I could actually just use the mod and force them to join our faction later on, so we'll see. And we'll continue on excavations. And do that. Alright. The Polish peasants are right on the outskirts of Warsaw here. And yeah, it looks like the anarchists have risen up. Although strangely enough, they are not in Catalonia. Anarchist uprisings Spanish Civil War. Continued government attempts at reasserting centralized control over the mostly independent acting anarchist communes in northeastern Spain, as well as Stalinist repression of dissident communist viewpoints, has led to a full-blown infighting in the Republican front. Initially limited to street fighting and low-scale clashes between militias and government or Stalinist forces, the unwillingness for either side to compromise has meant that the conflict has rapidly escalated in just a few days. The reallocation of military resources to deal with this internal threat means the front lines against the nationalists have been noticeably weakened. So that's interesting. Okay. See how things go. Yeah, it does look like the provisional government has managed to create a stable front there. Oh! I did not even realize that Finland had been embroiled in a civil war here. It's like communists on one side and non-aligned on the other. So. And how are we doing? Nothing there. But Amelia Earhart circumnavigates the globe. The famous aviator Amelia Earhart, known to many as the Queen of the Air, has completed a flight around the world together with her navigator Fred Noonan. After a brief scare when the pair temporarily got lost while approaching the Howland Island in the Pacific, the flight proceeded without incident, and in the morning their Lockheed Electra touched down in Oakland, California. This morning, it touched down. A ceremony is to be held in the White House next week, where Earhart is to be personally congratulated for her feat by the president. So that's neat. Okay. And let's get a maintenance company going here. Actually, I got an idea. Let's, start getting a few different, constructed. Because I want at least one of each. So that way, we'll be good. And, yeah, Finland is now communist. So, that was unexpected. And right now, they only have, just there. And Japan is now embroiled in a civil war. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn out. The High Seas Fleet, our ambitious goal it can be nothing less than making the Kingdom of Germany a true global power. For that purpose, we need to revive the Hochschiffsflotte, or High Seas Fleet, which almost rivaled the Royal Navy's dominance in the oceans once. And that we shall do. Okay. And we'll do that. And then once we're done with this, we should be all good to go then with enemies there. There. Okay. So, what exactly is going on here? Oh, it's a democratic uprising. Okay. It's just kind of interesting, though, how it's gone that way. Yeah. So we will see how that goes. Although Japan is definitely in need of a rework. It's that there really isn't a whole lot you can do as democracy or communist with the Japanese. And personally, in terms of the next DLC, I do hope it's kind of like a Pacific-based one, where like Japan, Korea, China, and maybe even countries like the Philippines or Australia get like a rework. That'd be just a really nice one. It's that now that the Middle East kind of was touched up a little bit with the last DLC, it just makes sense that Pacific would be the next one. Well, either that or like the U.S. and Caribbean area. So I know those states also need a touch-up as well. Okay. Oh, and the first secessionist movement from Russia here. It's Uzbekistan appears to be trying to break away. And the Soviets were able to put down this front of the fighting. And it looks, yeah. And the Polish peasants were able to take Warsaw. So, okay. Let's get this going here. Alright. Because I do want to get all that taken care of at some point. Increase trade with Denmark. Okay, good. And we are now done with all that. So let's start taking care of some things here. And we'll start with reverse the brain drain. Now that the oppressors and authoritarian regimes have been vanquished, we can attempt making it attractive for those scientists who fled the country to return and once more work in their homeland. So, do that because it would be nice to be able to get all that stuff back. And holy moly, the Italians have expanded King Zog submits to Italy. An ultimatum has been delivered to the Albanian government by Italian diplomats, demanding that they submit to complete military occupation. King Zog has abdicated after realizing the futility of resistance, and Albania will now be ruled as a personal union under King Vittorio Emmanuel III. Italy looks to the Balkans. And it definitely has. Ah, good. And Denmark did accept our increased trade proposal. The delegation should tell us that is very keen on signing a trade proposal and expand. Alright. So that's good for us. Alright. And how are we doing here? It looks like the provisional government has made it to the Urals and is now slowly crossing in. And Georgia is not broken away from the Soviets. It's always kind of interesting just watching the civil wars happen in the USSR. Just seeing which territories end up breaking away and which ones don't. Okay. And yeah, let's start with these here. Let's start by getting basic aircraft carrier researched. Sweden seizes Landsverk. Sweden has seized control of Landsverk, a company that we operated alongside the Swedes to develop armored vehicles. While Landsverk utility has let us has to us has reduced in recent years, it is a clear sign that Sweden wishes to distance itself from the Kingdom of Germany. Then we shall siege Swedish assets in the kingdom. Okay. Yeah, it lived its purpose. Okay. Is faction leader. Oh, okay, so that's essentially only if we, there. Actually. Yeah, let's do this one. Re-ratify the Locarno Treaty. Locarno treaties were signed in 1925, which had the attempt to normalize relations with us while securing territorial integrity in Europe. While it has been seen as an oppressive move towards us, it is clear that it is for the best to undo Hitler's mistake of opposing it. So we shall do that in an effort to hopefully increase relations with France here, which appears to be strengthening its fascist tendencies. So that's interesting. And looks like Armenia is now declared its independence from the Soviets as well. A Flammenpanzer. I'll hold off on that for now. I've never actually used the Flaming Panzer before, so that'll be kind of interesting to see. Right, let's make sure that, let's see. Okay, so it looks like it was just those ones. Okay, and we'll do formation fighting. We'll just continue down that. Okay. And it looks like the provisional government of Russia is moving in on Vladivostok, so that'll be interesting. Actually, let me, yeah, not quite yet. Okay. Yeah, still a lot more fighting to be had before the Soviets, capitulate. Okay. Now that that treaty's done. Okay. Let's actually divert away from that there for a moment. And let's, yeah, we'll start going down this path. Construct the Autobahn. Since its inception in 1933, the Autobahn project has been a glorious success. The construction efforts have reduced unemployment, and the wide roads stand as a monument to the Kingdom of Germany's economic recovery. Much work remains to be done, however. Oh. And non-aggression pact. That we shall sign. So. Alright. And And get that back then. Okay. And I imagine, too, that now that front's done, all the other fronts will move a little faster than for the provisional government here. See how long they're able to keep things up, though. Okay. Just that. And rubber processing. And just make sure all that is still good, because while we are at peace for now, it will not be that way forever. The current Jadis Republic Third War. Where the hell are they from? Ah! It's this territory here. Not entirely familiar with that area, actually. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get some Volkswagen factories built. For new autobahns constructed, we must fill them with cars. To become a truly prosperous and modern economy, we need to construct factories that can produce these cars, all while creating jobs and employment. Alright. Oh, I realized I still had some of this stuff here. And continue going down here too, so that we can actually get another research slot going. And we'll keep on building this up here. Alright. Get that taken care of. And yeah, we still do have this here, so. And there. And how's things in Japan going? And it does look like the Democratic front of them is having a little bit of issues here. Like, granted, they haven't capitulated entirely yet, but still a lot of fighting happening. Okay. Okay, so we need a shit ton more industries going here. In that case... yeah, we'll continue currency reforms. First step of economic recovery and revitalization is to make sweeping currency reforms. So we will do that, and hopefully get enough factories built here. Okay. And United Mexican States declares... okay, so Mexico's embroiled in a civil war now. So, we have one democratic faction here, and I'm assuming a communist one. So actually, I'm curious, how is the... oh! Okay, so yeah, it looks like the US is still going down the path that I told it to go down, because Alf Landon is currently president of the United States, and the Silver Legion appears to be on the rise there. Okay. So that'll be interesting to see. Second Christiada. Forces of the Church and Revolution have once again come into conflict in Mexico, with the government renewing its attacks on the Church. The embattled Catholic parties and social movements are launching an armed rebellion to seize control of Mexico. Cristero militias are forming after a decade of inactivity, supplemented by defectors of the federal military. They have taken over several rural states and are using these as a base from which to operate. The first Christiada ended with a settlement negotiated between senior revolutionary and church officials, thanks to intermediation by the American government. But it looks like that this violence will end only with the complete destruction of one of the belligerents. So it'll be interesting to see how things go in Mexico there. Okay. Well, keep on researching that then too. Okay, and this is done. What else can we, We'll just get everything up to 1936 standards, I think. And yeah, we'll do the capital ships. Just make sure all that stuff's going. And we'll work on those things here then too. And okay. And another piece is breaking away. Oh, kind of interesting seeing that it's from up here. And so we will see how things go. Although it's kind of interesting how apparently the Russian Provisional Government has Sevastopol under its control here. And hey, now we actually have access to this. Develop the research centers. Investing in new facilities can secure access to the growing demand for precious metals that a modern military needs. These specialized materials are essential for electronics and high-quality armaments. Should do just that. Take care of all this stuff here then too. Alright. What else can we get going here? Get Minister of Food and Agriculture. Help with our population a little bit. Actually, speaking of which, we should have enough to start building up our army again, so we will start doing that. Just that way we can be ready for anything that might come our way. Because obviously, we're going to have to deal with a communist Poland here. That is slowly but surely happening. As well as the fact that it appears that Britain is going down the fascist route. We're going to have to fight them. As well as the French, because it does appear that they have some fascist tendencies as well. Oh, and the Duce was deposed. That now, the leader of Italy is Dino Grandi. Though it does still appear that they have their expansionist aims. And oddly enough, it appears that the French gave them to Tunis, so that's interesting. How are things going in the Middle East here, actually? So, it does look like some fascist tendencies going on here. Yeah, the Golden Oh, okay, so it does appear that they're going to try and go down that route. And what are the others? Stand with Giants. Okay. So they're cracking down on communism, so... And they're still fine. Okay. Let's keep going then. Right. And yeah, the Russian Provisional Government essentially has all of the Russian Far East and Siberia under its control here at the moment. And the bulk of its military, too, evidently. It's that the Soviets only have like 3 to 14 divisions, while the provisional government has anywhere between 43 and 229. Although that actually does remind me, I should probably start building up our spy agency here. That way we can actually get more accurate intelligence. Alright, what resources are we lacking? Okay. Get more from British Malaysia. And the Kievan Republic has been declared, which is another territory there. Okay. There. Nothing yet. Okay. Okay. That route. And what else can we, yeah, just speed everything up, get it up to at least 1936, and then once we get that done, we'll probably end up starting with our naval rearmament. try and get as much of Plan C done before it's too late. Okay. There's that. Okay. And building the Ruhr Dam. Constructing the Ruhr Dam is more than simply a feat of engineering. It is an investment for the future. Dam would not only bolster the economic development of the region, it would also help fuel our industrial efforts and production output. That'll be good. The Kingdom of Hungary announces the HoI4 program. The Hungarian government under Miklos Horthy has announced a new large-scale industrial program with the intent to efficiently rearming the nation as quickly as possible. Foreign spectators view this as an act of aggression by the Kingdom of Hungary towards their neighbors, but only time will tell what their intentions are. You know, that actually it does get me thinking. I should probably improve relations with Austria too, because even though, well, long story short, I essentially just still want to Anschluss them, get all of that stuff taken care of. Kyrgyzstan declared war on the Soviet Union, but and there goes the Polish government. So now Poland has gone communist. It looks like that will be the only communist nation that we will have on our borders for the time being. Okay. You know what? We'll actually take him, I think. Alright. Yeah. Soviets will definitely be, be defeated. At this point, there's no way for them to win. Belarus has declared war on them. And new president in Uruguay. Gabriel Terra, the president of Uruguay, announced last week that he was holding elections and stepping down from power, rule which he has extended through a coup d'etat in 1933. The power will hereby be handed down to Terra's brother-in-law, the pro-Allied politician Alfredo Valdemir Ferrari. Yeah, good for them. Okay. Continue down this pathway here. Alright. And we shall see how they end up going here. And next up with the army. Kind of surprised they haven't made more progress here. And it looks like Japan has ended its civil war. Now let's see which side ended up winning. Oh, the Democrats actually managed to come out on top. Neat. So it looks like they won't be to war with the Soviets then. Or the Allies. I forget, actually. I don't really do Democratic Japan runs all that much. And we'll get another round of just infantry here constructed. Imperial Kwantung territories declared war on Communist China. Okay. Oh, right. I imagine... Yeah, they're no longer a puppet of Japan, so now they're on their own. So I can see that Puyi will likely be trying to reassert himself then. Okay. Let's go to realpolitik. The time has come for us to look outward at the rest of Europe and see in which direction the winds are blowing. If the opportunities for alliances or conquests arise, we must make sure to take hold of them immediately. Do that. And Komi. Huh. That would be interesting to see that happen there. It's straight up trying to leave everyone, so. Okay. Sonar. Definitely don't need anything else here, so let us continue on with these. And now they're going to war against the rest of China, too. No united front yet, but we'll see if any does appear. Let's see to the eastern front. Okay, let's do Middle Europe. The main interest area of the German people is in... Oh, jeez, I did not realize just how sore of a position I was in there. The main interest area of the German people is in Middle Europe, initially by envisioning by the Prussians as a pan-German state-centric imperium. These ideas could use some polishing, but are a good base for which we could build a new order in Europe. And we'll create a faction then for ourselves that will essentially replace the Axis that we had disbanded then by ousting the Nazis from power, so that'll be fun. And this way we can also start swaying countries to our side then, too, before the AI puts them somewhere else. Okay. Okay, how? Still not there yet. Okay. Now we can do brothers in arms with the Austrian question. Actually, okay. The lesser German solution was a mistake, one that must be remedied immediately. We should coerce the Austrians into joining our nation, and perhaps even taking the opportunity to offer an exchange for an alliance with the Kingdom of Hungary. Okay. You know what? Yeah. We'll do that one. What? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You know what? To hell with it. What did I... What the heck did I do? Or maybe I need to wait for something? I don't know. Okay. Okay. And... Chance for guarantees. Okay. Let's actually go back to our economy. Start working more on that here, I think. So let's... Housing developments here. We can revitalize our economy by launching a housing and development program aimed at renovating and creating modern homes and setting a new standard of living. So, and Azerbaijan has declared war on the Soviet Union. Oh, Communist Revolution in Argentina. Argentinian Communist Revolution. The ongoing turmoil in Argentina has spiraled out of control in recent days, leading to a civil war led by the once exiled Rudolf Giolitti, backed by many left-wing members of the Argentinian Congress. Communists have broken away from the government in an attempt to wrestle control and enact radical change throughout the nation. Many of the region are concerned that a communist Argentina will trigger a domino effect across the continent of South America. So requests knowledge and sharing ball bearings. Yeah, we'll do that. And you know what? I'm a little annoyed, so I'm gonna just annex them forcibly that way. Okay. And Hungary too. Although I am going to release one of them at least. Hungary, that is. Okay. And we'll release them as a puppet. Okay, that'll do. And did that give us anything else that we could do? It did not. Okay. Alright. And Naval Department. Yeah. Definitely should have done the Middle Europa one a little earlier. But too late now. Okay. Non-aligned or fascists. What is the current oh, democratic. Okay. National revitalization. Okay. And let's actually get something going here. No, not that. Ooh, energy company that helps with, yeah, let's actually get them. So that would actually help us quite a bit. And we'll put you there too. Okay. And just some nation building then in Hungary then too while we're at it. Turkmenistan declared war on the Russian national government. Some more people are going in there. United States rich industrial natural resources, having been one of the heartlands of industrialization of Austria-Hungary, we should have them join Military Europa so that we can make use of their riches. And of course, it's not going to do anything. Okay. Okay. Let's do... What can we do here? It's fascist nations in Europe. Okay. So that's interesting. Yep, back to the economy then. So, let's do... lower the taxes here. The tax burden on our people has gradually become heavier and heavier to pay for the rearmament program. By lessening this burden, we might lose out on state income in the short term, but people will be able to spend more of their hard-earned money down the line. And we'll do that. So, okay. And we'll continue doing that then as well. Okay. Is there actually a way that I can manage your subjects here? Okay. Okay. Not quite there yet. Alright. And Uzbekistan has capitulated and has been reincorporated into the new Russian state here. And getting closer to capitulating, but not quite there yet. Okay. And we'll get you. This Republic of Dagestan has declared war on the Soviet Union. Yeah, everybody is just going to war with the Soviets. Okay. No, not you. There. And we got one more. No. Okay. And we'll make sure that all of our doctrines are continuing to grow here then as well. Alright. And Komi Republic has been annexed. And what? Not quite there yet. Is there any that allows us to? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So the Balkans. There are many nations in the Balkans who feel threatened by foreign powers. We should offer them a place in Middle Europa so that our union can grow stronger. Yeah. Do that one. And we'll then start looking at securing the states in the east here then as well. Okay. British Australia ceased to distance from the Commonwealth. In a speech this morning, Prime Minister John Curtin has announced the Australian government's dedication to growth and stability as an oceanic state. This means looking to new shores than those of Britain's Europe, as the Australian people can no longer bear the weight of foreign conflicts on their shoulders. In a direct reference to the King's speech at the open of the last Parliament, John Curtin hit the point home by stating, "Never another Gallipoli." The rapturous cheers from the crowds indicate a new era of Australian politics has begun. Where it will end, the world can only begin to speculate. Right. And Turkmenistan has died, and Queen Maud of Norway has died. While on a visit to England to see her family and her brother King George IV of the United Kingdom, Queen Consort of Norway and the Princess of Wales before that has died of heart failure in her sleep. A complication after an abdominal surgery earlier this week is believed to be the culprit. She was a beloved figure in Norway and will surely be missed by her son Prince Olaf and her husband Haakon the Seventh, the King of Norway. Yep, that's a loss to us all. Alright, and we'll do that there. Alright, and who can we get next? I'm gonna put you in charge. Okay. And what? Okay, so this is, another state, apparently, that can be formed there. Okay. They are definitely taking their sweet time in getting to Moscow. My goodness. It's like, normally it's done by now. Okay. Let's see to the Eastern Theater. Our actions in previous wars are still a recent memory of many. We must focus on fears of the continent and true danger, the great threat of Russian imperialism that looms in the East. We will begin a massive propaganda campaign to open the eyes of the continent. Alright. And start doing that. Although to say that the Russians at the moment are the biggest threat, not exactly accurate. At least not yet. Eventually it will be. No. Canada seeks immediate partition. After breakdowns and negotiations with Westminster and an unprecedented 63-hour debate, the Canadian Parliament has overturned the British North America Act, said enshrining the Canadian Constitution and laws untouchable by the British Parliament or monarchy. Although not an anti-British move in its own right, it signals a move away from the Commonwealth policies of the old empire. While a natural step to take for any country wanting to ensure their future stability, it does nothing to alleviate the already tense state of global politics. And the British Empire grows weaker by the day. And, who won the, Okay, it looks like the communists won. And they are... The Americans... still doing some things here. Yeah, they've started going down the, essentially the, America First area, so... be interesting to see what happens. It's likely going to lead to a civil war in the U.S. at some point. And wonder weapons. Okay. Interrogation techniques. And we'll become Spy Master then too. Okay. Extend German influence. By meddling in the internal politics of strategically important countries, we may sway them into our sphere of influence. Yeah, we'll do that to, have Romania and Bulgaria. Try and sway them into our sphere of influence. Alright. there's that. Oh, there we go. Oh, I was going to skip that song since we already heard that not that long ago. So looks like I did it without even thinking about it. Okay. And South Africa declares independence. The South African government today announced that they will unilaterally be breaking ties with the British government. They cite their inability to reconcile their political views with the present political developments occurring in the British Empire as primary reason for this. So, it does look like Oswald Mosley is now firmly in charge of Britain then. Okay. So there's that. Oh, and there it goes. The U.S. has embroiled itself in a civil war. Okay. And there's only one state that's actually part of it here. Well, that's interesting. It's literally just New England against everyone else. The Second American Civil War. After months of protests and increasing tensions between the supporters of President Alf Landon and his opponents in the so-called Constitutionalist camp, Constitutionalist politicians have declared a new government based in Boston, home of the First American Revolution. Divisions in a society run straight through families and institutions. It appears that a slight majority of the military has decided to side with the Constitutionalists, as state governments throughout the continental United States declare their allegiance for one side or the other. The American Republic is fighting for its life. Oh! Okay, so it's more than just that then. I guess other states will just rally behind one or the other. So the West Coast is now with Boston there. And we'll see. Okay. So now it appears New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey have also swayed their allegiance in that camp. We'll see who else ends up breaking ties. Or if it ends up just being them. Okay, we got some states breaking away in the Midwest. North South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota. So this will be interesting. And C to the Eastern Front. Okay. Tributes for guarantees. Yeah, well, hold off on that for now. Let's continue our economic development here. Abolish price controls. Price control measures that have been implemented to bolster the rearmament are stifling the economy. Removing these might lessen the state's funds, but will enable people to start new business and kickstart the economy. So that'll be good. Kingdom of Germany speaks out against the Russian provisional government. The German government has stepped up its rhetoric against the provisional Russian government, warning Europe's eastern neighbor as the great eastern threat that looms over the continent. Whether it's fear-mongering or has a basis in fact is disputed, but it certainly seems like the Germans are aiming to unite the continent against the East. And the world must know of the Russian threat. Okay. And now it appears that most of the American West has joined in, so now it appears that states that are left here are essentially Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas, and essentially all the remaining states that were once part of the Confederacy. But Soviets announced large-scale exercises. In response to what they call increasingly hostile German rhetoric, the Soviet military has announced a series of large-scale military exercises to be held this year. It is hoped that the heightened state of readiness will discourage the Germans from continuing their slanderous triad, according to spokesman of the Soviet government. And they played right into our hands. Okay. And an earthquake in Chile. Just go for that one. But it does look like the Russian provisional government has won. the end of the Second Russian Civil War. What seemed like an impossible undertaking, the renewal of the fight against the Bolsheviks by the exiled white movement, has turned into a victory in spite of all odds. The provisional government declared the Soviet Union beaten and vowed to restore Russia to its former glory. The war has devastated much of Russia and have cost the country dearly. The whereabouts of Joseph Stalin are so far unknown. Rumors have it that he escaped the country days before surrender and that he might be hiding somewhere in South America. So, sucks to be him. Okay. And we'll root out resistance here. Definitely kind of stinks, though, because just because of the fact that Austria somehow joined the Allies without us even being notified of it, meant that essentially it's not a core territory of us, so that stinks. And Australia declares independence. The Australian government today announced that they will unilaterally be breaking ties with the British government. They cite the inability to reconcile their political views with the present political developments occurring in the British Empire as their primary reason for this. So yet another country breaks away from the empire. Alright. And plastic explosives. Okay. We'll see how things end up going here in the U.S. Although it does appear that the American junta is slowly making progress there. Price controls. Okay. Let's do industrial expansion. Having a strong industry that can compete internationally and pioneer new technologies will be crucial for our continued growth. The Kingdom of Germany will be synonymous with quality. Argentina was annexed. Oh, right. I forgot that Argentina was embroiled in the Civil War. But it does appear that the communists ended up winning, so good for them. And New Zealand has also declared its independence. So, yeah. Piece by piece, the remnants of the British Empire are turning away. Well, speaking of which, it appears that India has gone through some things here. Like, it's gone communist, for one, and Pakistan is still here. Okay. Okay. And back to North America, just to see what's going on. Just declared Ecuador. Okay. And war in South America, stemming from disputes that have been happening in the regions of the Napo Estaza and Santiago Zamora on the border of Peru and Ecuador ever since the dissolution of the Gran Colombia. Skirmishes have now started to occur between the two countries' forces. Due to the recent settlements in the borders with Colombia, Peruvian soldiers have felt confident in pushing their claims against the weaker Ecuadorian state. Skirmishes have now escalated into open conflict. This will test the stability of the region, as other countries may attempt to intervene. And what will be of South America? Okay. Oh, MacArthur is in charge of the junta there. That's interesting. Kind of curious to see that it's not Elf Landon anymore. But, hey. The game's just sticking to the idea that MacArthur is the American Kaiser. And we'll give them aid, yeah. Okay. Radio propaganda. Okay. Okay, let's continue some of these here. Mr. Schmidt's done. And Canada's declared independence now. Canadian government announced that they won't... Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's essentially the same one as before, just with Canada this time. And yeah, looking at the war turn, it looks like the American junta is going to end up winning there. Alright, Armor Signal Company. There really isn't a stable front anywhere, looking at the thing. Alright. Austrian expansion. Yeah, and we're probably going to end up having to send our forces into the US at some point here. Industrial expansion should be done here. There we go. And what do I want to do next here then? And world politic. We won't be taken seriously as a major power until we've restored our global empire, or built ourselves a new one in its place. We must therefore start looking outward, and no longer only focus our eyes on the European continent. So we'll start kind of looking outwards here then too. And New York has been taken by the junta. Okay. And basic fire controls, we'll get that going. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep going down that route. Okay. And yeah, construction level 3. Get that going. Because the sooner we're able to build up everything that we are constructing, the better. And yeah, it definitely looks like the junta is going to win this. And there it goes. Alright. Okay. Got the high sea fleet. British dominance. Let's see. Is that, I get the impression that we're not going to be able to, essentially ally ourselves with, the British like I had hoped to, do. I had set, England to, maintain its democratic leanings, but evidently the AI decided to go down the fascist route for Britain regardless. So, yeah, we're going to have to contend with them at some point. Safeguard the politic, tributes for guarantees. Prepare the East, but we'll not just seeing as these countries are much vulnerable position. Nah. You know what? Let's actually go down this path. The Franco-German Pact. With our recent normalization of relations with the French, it would prove wise to deepen our relationship and formalize a pact of friendship and mutual assistance so that we can stand together against the Russians in the East. And we'll definitely do that. See if we can't sway them to join our cause. The American junta reigns supreme. After months of bloodshed and untold thousands of casualties, the Second American Civil War has come to an end. President Douglas MacArthur has declared major combat operations to be over. While some remnants of the rebel government still keep up an ineffective resistance campaign, most have either been rounded up in sweeps or melted back into the civilian population. According to President MacArthur, the war was clearly the work of foreign influences seeking to destabilize and divide the country. In time, he promises those responsible would pay back their debt to the recovering American nation in blood. Well, that's grim. Okay, and let's get a large airframe under construction here. And we have this going here. Actually, what? Okay. Yeah, concentrate industry. Help us out a little bit there. Yeah, things are definitely starting to heat up in terms of the war here. And the Mexican-Soviet government has declared war on Guatemala. Okay. And Hungary launches ally manufacturing programs. Our ally, German-Hungary, has initiated a program to jointly develop aircraft in our faction. It has such started investing into our development in order to future their own. Neat. And the American junta passes the War Powers Act. Following a vote by standard proclamation in the Senate chamber, President Douglas MacArthur immediately signed the War Powers Act into law. The act gives the office of the president far greater discretion in the use of military than previously possible. The president may now deploy troops to defend American interests whenever and wherever he deems it necessary, for an unlimited duration. While President MacArthur claimed that these new powers would only be used under most dire circumstances, sources inside the State Department claim that it is merely the first step in a large-scale program of reshaping the global balance of power. Well, that will be interesting. And I've actually never seen this happen with the US before, so it'll be interesting to see what the AI actually ends up doing. You know what? Actually, let me open this up and just see what it does here. If it does anything. Not a whole lot. And yeah, it's still basically just regular US focus trees, so. Okay. Yeah, Mexico just seems to be going on a war of conquest all across Central America here. Right, and we'll give them more aid. Okay. And let's request the return of French held colonies. At the end of the Great War, we were stripped of our colonial possessions, with German colonial society regaining popularity under Eldner. It might be time to request back our old colonies of Cameroon and Togoland. The better our relationship with France, the higher likelihood they may allow us to regain the territory. And we shall. Actually, come to think of it, let me improve our relations with them, just to increase the likelihood. And France welcomes mutual cooperations. Okay. Pierre Laval of France has accepted our requests for mutual cooperation and guarantees, and welcomed our diplomats with open arms, claiming that it is only together that we can protect our nations from foreign powers who threaten the balance. Great. Actually, might actually be able to get France on our side. So that'll be interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna initiate the second naval arms race. And can we further mobilize? No, we cannot. Okay. Now that stinks. And the British Empire has declared war on Ireland. The end of the League of Nations. With the declaration of war on Ireland by the British Empire, the League of Nations has failed in its attempts to preserve peace. Also mostly openly mocked the League's inability to do anything, and with that took the country out of the League, with other world leaders also questioning the point of the League of Nations. If it can't prevent conflicts, the days of the League are de facto over. While the Council continues to meet, no one expects it to actually accomplish anything anymore. Whatever authority the Council once had is long lost now. So they're now at war. Where is actually? Friends with us, or they are not? Okay. And I'm curious, can we actually work on getting what else with us here? Oh, and we can still replace the Reichstag with the Volkshalle. Well, that's very interesting. Okay. I'll probably continue going down here then. At least once we have everyone on board with us here. Alright. And basic fire controls is done. Probably... yeah, we'll start going down the air forces then too. And Ireland has capitulated. And is now part of the British Empire again. So that stinks for them. Be interesting though to see what happens next. Oh! And oddly enough, Poland surrendered its eastern territories to the Russians there. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. Okay. So that's done. And we do need excavation level 3, so we'll take care of that then too. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, medium airframe. Take care of that. Oh, shit. Not that one. But you. That'll do. Okay. And we are getting pretty darn close here. In terms of the territories. So, let's... where's the, okay. Offer a trade proposal. There are many states with abundant natural resources of which trade would prove highly profitable. The Indonesian and Congolese territories are rich in rubber and rare metals, so establishing trade deals with Belgium and the Netherlands would allow us to attain rich resources of their colonies to fuel our industries. Okay. We'll do that one next. And France has returned our colonies. Pierre of Laval of France has accepted our request to return our former colonies, stating they are better in our hands. People are celebrating in the streets, as it seems German colonial empire is finally back on the map. We are fast approaching a new golden age. Alright. And we have some colonies in Europe here. Africa here again. And Guatemala has capitulated to the Mexican Soviet government. So. Okay. Let's see how things end up going here then. How are things going in Russia here right now? Not really a whole lot going on at the moment. Alright. Here's the trade proposal. Okay. Let's establish a customs unit. As we're making plans for the September program of old, we should now establish a Middle European Customs Union and slowly but surely unite the European economies into one of the most powerful forces. Alright. And Netherlands accepts our trade proposition. Kara seems to be a leader who's looking out for his own country's best interests. Coincidentally, it just so happens to be our country's best interest as well. You'll put extra uses from the Netherlands to good use. And Belgium does the same. Awesome. Oh, I did not even realize that Belgium had taken Luxembourg. Korea joins... Oh. Korea joins the West Pacific Treaty Organization. Earlier today, the state of Japan and Korea issued a joint statement that the latter has now informally granted member status of the West Pacific Treaty Organization. Whether this partnership is used for offensive defense purposes remains to be seen, but undoubtedly, extensive joint military planning is already underway. Seek strength in numbers. Socialist Republic of Finland seeks protection against the provisional Russian government. Nemo 10 of the Socialist Republic of Finland has requested that we aid them in defense against any possible aggression against the provisional Russian government. They state that they are wary of that they might be attacked soon, and that their only hope of surviving should such day happen. Okay. Now here's my question. Do I want to, You know what? Yeah, we'll bring them under our wing. There. Actually, let's see for guarantees. There. Okay. And yeah, we'll do this one here then next. Just kind of make sure that everything is all good to go there. What? It was provisional democrat. Okay. Oh, this... Okay, so essentially we get the option to create some colonial troops. That's neat. Okay. And... yeah, let's continue with our tanks here. Because eventually we're going to need to do more of them. You know what? I think we're going to force them into our empire then too. But we're not going to hold on to their territory, so we're going to just create puppets out of them. Okay. This is a puppet. There. And where's Czechoslovakia then? There we go. At least as a puppet. Okay. And there, because it does make sense then, because we already did have that done, so be good. Let's Danzig for guarantees. Poles surely must feel the danger of the Russians. Perhaps we would come to an agreement regarding the return of Danzig Posen and thus at least in Volstra, in exchange for guarantees of military support in case of invasion from the east. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that one. That way we can get some of the eastern provinces back here. Alright, and let's improve relations with them. That will allow them to stay as they are, as long as they give us back the territories that are, well, should belong to Germany, I guess I should say. And the British Empire declared war on Iraq. Okay. Be interesting to see how that turns out. So now the Iraqis are being invaded from Kuwait and Jordan. And I get the impression they're not going to last that long, so... Dancing for guarantees. And then we'll also safeguard the Baltic region then too. So... Oh. Ex-Italian leader Benito Mussolini executed. After being ousted from power in Italy, Benito Mussolini was put under house arrest for criminal incompetence and treason by inaction. Waiting his fate, which has finally caught up with him, early this morning, the former leader of Italy faced a firing squad in front of a small group of representatives from the government and was buried the same day in a private ceremony attended by his closest family. And so ends Mussolini. And the Bulgarian government supports the IMRO. Earlier today, the Bulgarian leader, Andrei Boris III, publicly announced that the government will seek to negotiate with Ivan Ilyov, one of the most important chiefs of the Internal Macedonian Revolutionary Organization, in cessation of hostilities with the IMRO and Bulgarian authorities. According to Minister of Interior Affairs, jeez, does it really need to... Yeah, there. Okay. Let's, and we'll skip that one. Okay. But, long story short, it seems like, Bulgaria is, looking at, going to war soon. So, that'll be interesting. And we shall see if they go for our position here. Actually, come to think of it, let's, get some tanks here. That'll do. And some more infantry then, too, while we're at it. Okay. Just that way, we are all good to go when the time comes for war. And we'll see how Poland reacts here to our proposition. And hopefully they accept it. Alright. And Danzig for guarantees. And Poland accepts the offer. Also... Oh, jeez. Ahsoka Tano 12. We're going to do the anti-Comintern pact. Yes and no. No, in the fact that no such program exists at the moment, given the fact that we were able to essentially oust the fascists from the German government. But yes, in the fact that we are slowly but surely gaining other countries at our disposal here. But we do have our eastern territories back here then, so that is good news for us. And we'll do the same for the Baltic states here. The Baltics were a part of the Russian Empire until a few decades ago, and it stands to reason that the Russians may once more try to annex them. We must prevent this and offer our military support in case of Russian invasion. And Poland returns Danzig. The Polish government has accepted a German proposal for the return of Danzig in exchange for military guarantees. Treaty has been drawn up, assuring the Poles that the Germans will come to their aid in the event of any hostilities committed against them. Though the price may seem high, once more cutting them off from the sea may well have been worth it in light of the communist threat to the east. Danzig War. Ha! Diplomacy prevails again. Okay. It's done. And let's get some updated artillery here going. And we'll see then. Oh. Vanguard Chile triggers a naval arms race. While there were no formal treaties preventing the expansion of the Brazilian, Chilean, and Argentinian navies, there has been an informal agreement since the Great War that has prevented any major expansions. However, with the announcement by the Chilean government that they intend to expand their naval capabilities with more capital ships, seems a new arms race in South America is inevitable. What this means for the wider geopolitical situation remains to be seen, but it can be assumed that the leaders of the great powers will also be watching the situation carefully. And we will watch it as well. So, yeah, let's continue with the doctrines here. I've been kind of forgetting to go back to this to just keep an eye on things. So... and modern blitzkrieg. And keep on going that way. And advanced machine tooling. Be good to have. Alright. And probably continue on with the other stuff here. The question is, yeah, probably the economy here then. So we will need to do that at some point. I'm curious, do we have... Oh, good, he is back. That's good to know. Put him in charge then. Okay. And the Baltics are now ours again. And workers' rights. The trade unions have changed fundamentally in the past few years and are unrecognizable from what they once were. By reforming them, we can rally the workers and reap the benefits. Okay. Definitely can feel the tension starting to rise in the game too. Just like fascists in power in Britain and the U.S., as well as just the fact that Russia is under a new government, which is slowly aligning itself with fascism, them as well, and just the fact that Italy has joined the Allies. So let's see how things end up going here. Alright. Coronation of Vladimir III. After nearly 3 decades of rule by the Bolsheviks, Russia today saw the return to Tsardom with the coronation of Tsar Vladimir III in a grand ceremony in the Dormition Cathedral in Moscow. After a royal procession through the crowds, the new Tsar spoke to the people that had come to witness him, praising the spirit of the Russian people, and vowing to return the nation to its former glory. It's warmonger. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if they empower the Tsar or if they go down the fascist path. So, okay. And let's see how things go. Where are these here? Said they should have been deployed by now. At least I thought they would have been. Okay. Take care of that. Just with the wholesome restored on the throne, the old line of East Africa was getting all for his service. Yeah, well. Alright. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Tsar then. Back on the throne. Okay. And advanced machine tools are needed for that one. Okay. In that case... yeah, we'll keep on going down all these here. We'll do invest in the Stahlwerk. Stahlwerk, one of our biggest and most important steel producers. Investing resources into the company will surely yield increasing productivity and transform the German steel industry. Actually, I'm curious, how are our industries doing? Yeah. Get all that taken care of. Actually, come to think of it, yeah, we'll move these productions up here then. Okay. Just that way we can actually start getting some special research done with the others. And yeah, we'll start with this one. Okay. And Operation Boulevard disrupted in Brazil. Our intelligence services have informed us that a number of their operatives and informants in Brazil have ceased communications as of late, which appear that something has occurred to disrupt our operations in the country. Possible counterintelligence initiative in conjunction with our enemies. Regardless of the cause, an It's indicative of a shift in the Brazilian policy to our detriment, and we should expect similar moves from them in the future. A concerning turn of events. And actually, hang on. It does appear that Brazil is now an empire again. So, Prince Pedro Henrique. Alright. And somehow we have military access in Afghanistan, and I have no idea why, when we're not even anywhere close to them. Let's increase production of some of the stuff here that we've got. Okay. And... okay. 6, 8, 9. That'll do. And then the rest will just throw down some military factories then. This way we can just ensure that we have everything to date. Actually, where's yeah, we'll put that there. Now we're in business. Okay, that'll do. Actually, since we are 1940, let's actually get some atomic research developed here for us. Because we are going to want to develop nuclear weapons. Okay, good tank chassis. Yeah, let's actually get the tanks constructed here. Okay. And... oh, hello. It looks like, interesting. So in exchange for, their war, apparently, Russia had to, give up, northern Sakhalin as well as Vladivostok. So that's interesting. Alright. And what do we need to do? Advanced two machines. Do we actually... oh, we do have them under research. That's good. So that'll be done in about 60 days then. And Japan has declared war on Manchuria then, so that's interesting. The Zemsky Civil War dismantled. Scant months after legitimizing their government through the reinstatement of the Zemsky Civil War, fascist elements in the Russian government have already dissolved a new parliament and placed the nation under control of Konstantin Radzievsky. As of yet, the newly crowned Tsar still plays the figurehead role, but it is clear that little real power remains with him. In the wake of the regime change, nationalist rhetoric has already increased measurably, with staunch extolling the fraternity of the Slavic peoples, as well as denouncing the past transgressions by neighboring powers. Whether this improves the situation remains to be seen. Okay. Yep, so it definitely appears that Russia is going down the fascist road as well. Okay. Keep going there. And China has joined the West Pacific Treaty Organization. Okay. And mutual assistance block. Oh, that's literally just the Communist Chinese. And the Empire of Portugal and Brazil. Following the restoration of the monarchy in Portugal and Brazil, the Portuguese king and Brazilian emperor attended several meetings to discuss the necessity and the potential benefits of the reunification of both countries once again. After long negotiations during the last Brazil-Portugal summit, the rulers agreed on officially re-establishing the United Kingdom of Portugal and Brazil. Today, with the blessing of the gathering monarchist crowd, Dom Duarte Bruno has been crowned Emperor of Portugal and Brazil, and the Emperor has thanked his subjects for their loyalty and has stated that he will rule on behalf of all citizens living under his rule. Just delusions of greatness. So, yeah, it appears that Portugal and Brazil are once again united under rule of the monarchy. So they just substantially improved in power. Whether or not it'll stay the same, though, remains to be seen. Alright. And prototype. The prototype advances. Karl Heinrich Becker, the lead scientist, must decide how involved he will be in the day-to-day operations. He could choose to oversee construction directly on the field by ensuring precise execution, or remain in the office focusing on strategic planning. Okay, it's 5%. Progress, office planning. Yeah, we'll have him oversee the work personally. Just to ensure that everything works as it should. Okay. And our Boberman air facilities will be done come August then, so. Alright. And yeah, let's get the weapons upgraded. Alright. Let's expand the Autobahn east then. Expanding the Autobahn network towards East Prussia will showcase our nation's determination to once again connect and unify our easternmost regions with the rest of the Kingdom of Germany. It will also allow us to strike eastward harder and faster if needed. Which would be good, because Russia is definitely on the warpath. So. Okay. And what else are we doing here then? And our tanks are almost researched, so that's good. Let's get some more guns. Actually, no. More tanks, actually. That way we can increase our production a little more. And actually, I should probably put some other stuff there, too. Unitary Canada declares war in Canada. Imperialist Civil War in Canada. Pro-imperial elements in Canada have risen up in open revolt against the government, demanding immediate return of the nation as a dominion to the British Empire. The situation now escalated to full-on civil war, and the Canadian government has accused the British Empire of supplying the insurgents with modern weapons and munitions they require, which the British government has categorically denied. Underhanded tactics, indeed. I don't think so. Go here. Okay. Alright. Empire. So America went fascist. That it did. It ended up going down the fascist path in this one. And thank you for the follow. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, the U.S. Has gone down the fascist path for this one. It's already gone under the Second Civil War, where they came out on top. So, we will... Oh! Thank you for the sub. I definititely appreciate that. And, I'm gonna have to reset the sub goal then for that one. So thank you very much for that. Definitely appreciate that. And do enjoy the ad-free viewing as well as access to the emotes that I've got set. But I digress. Yes, the Americas did go fascist. They've already underwent the Civil War, and everything is kind of falling into place here. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what they do eventually. I assume eventually they will end up going to war against everyone else here. British Empire allies, Imperialist Canada, and Imperial Loyalists. The British government today announced that it will take the fledgling Imperial Loyalist government in Imperialist Canada under its protection. Canada is currently in the throes of civil war, and this seems to indicate that the British Empire will henceforth be taking a more active part in the internal political convulsions of the country. So, that's interesting to see. And advanced machines are done, so that's good. And start improving other stuff. But yeah, with the U.S. under a fascist regime here in the game, obviously we're gonna have to take care of that at some point. And but for now, though, we are simply just focusing on the Russians, because they are gonna be coming down on us hard at some point, I imagine. And agricultural reforms. Our agricultural sector is made up of small-scale family-held farms, doing a lot of manual labor. We can reform the entire agrarian sector by introducing modern equipment and increasing the production output of every individual farm. The entirety of our nation stands to benefit. So do that, and thankfully, with each of these ones that we do, we end up getting a stronger economy, which will help us essentially arm ourselves up a little more. And it does look like there was a design flaw that was detected, so that's unfortunate. It's gonna throw our designs behind a little bit here. Okay. Then Alphonse I claims the throne of France. In a ceremony in Reims, Alphonse I was officially proclaimed the King of France. His rise is widely considered to be a direct result of the inability of the Third Republic to provide political stability in an environment that was increasingly defined by violent clashes between those at the extreme ends of the political spectrum. He now faces the difficult task of rebuilding and reuniting a deeply divided country that many observers, pointing to the role the far-right leagues played in his ascent to power, as a sign that the King of France is, in fact, merely a ruler by the grace of the right-wing mob. Turn days thoroughly are gone. So, yeah, it is, the Bourbon monarchy is now once again back on the throne in France. Unfortunately, we can't, invite them into our faction yet. Hopefully, at some point we can, because I'd like to have at least one major power on our side, if possible. Weapons here, and let's go on here. Yugoslav captured. All right, and what do we got? We actually have a number of people we can look into. Let's get Herder Braun. Actually, come to think of it, let's get a few different factories going here. 2, and 1 more in Austria. Okay. Let's get going here. Yeah, another nuclear facility. And 1 in Königsberg. Get that squared away. So we can take care of all this, then we'll be good shape here, I imagine. And more land area. And 3rd one. Okay, that'll do. Lower the priority of these ones here. There. Okay. And yeah, let's get radar underway here. That way we can just get all that taken care of then. And Mexico has been annexed by China. Oh. Okay. Evidently not. However, I will actually give them that. So, there we go. Okay, so Manchuria is now firmly under control of the Chinese again. Spanish Directorate. It's kind of interesting that the Spanish Civil War is still going on when it's 1940. And more aid to Turkey, it seems. So, what's that? And agricultural reforms are nearing completion here. Curious, actually, if we can... Still can't. Let's, in that case, let us continue on with research there. And Carlos Spain is now out of the Spanish Civil War, so... Peoples... So there should be an option somewhere. Which one of these allows us to, Terror support. I could have sworn there was a option to expand into the area, but I guess not. Alright. Yeah, I need to start getting ready for naval arms race here. And start with the submarines. Alright. Agricultural reforms are now complete. Ah! So this is where we need to go. Okay. So which ones do we need? The following Eastern Bulwark. Okay. Alright. The countries on our east have defense is much weak to properly stand up to the Russian threat. We must invest in fortifications in their countries so that trying to take them will be as costly as possible to the enemy. So, on all states owned by... Okay, so we'll build forts on our east for us. So that will be good, because we're going to need that. Okay. And Communist China has declared war on one of the states there. Oh, both their immediate neighbors. That'll actually be kind of interesting. Just the continuation of the Chinese Civil War. Is that, honestly, I think the Communist Chinese are going to win against those other states there. So, is that, if I remember correctly, they should... Yep, they do. Services requirement and total mobilization, so yeah. They'll be more than ready. Alright. And so, underground rail systems. Well, that's neat. And the Eastern Bulwark is complete. Extend Middle Europa's boundaries eastwards. Nations on our east are more than just buffer states. We should invite them into Middle Europa to ensure that they also help to grow our lines of customs union stronger. So, we shall try and invite them in. And the Tsardom of Bulgaria has declared war on the Tsardom of Bulgaria. So, they're embroiled in a civil war now. Okay. Let's, yeah, do this one here. And, yeah. That area of research. And here's our nuclear research. And warfare specialist. And we'll put Werner Heisenberg in charge of that facility for now. For the next one, though, we'll definitely no one else then, or whoever the nuclear warfare expert in charge. The Moroccan People's Republic has declared war on the Spanish Directory. Okay. Wait, did they just... Oh, damn. Yeah, Morocco just won its independence. Like, without even trying. Although most of the country is still under control of the French, though, so... It's definitely a weaker country as of now, but won't be like that always. Alright. And there. Now we actually have all the naval facilities, and then once all these docks are built, then we'll continue on in rebuilding our navy then. Okay. So I am going to need to build up our fleet. It's obviously we are going to have to contend with the British Empire at some point here. In addition to the fact that, well, we're going to eventually have to cross the Atlantic to deal with the Americans then too. Alright. Finland. It's joined. Estonia. Lithuania. Okay. And we shall reach out to Scandinavia. Mountains and cold are no protection against the Eastern menace, and Scandinavians must know this. We shall offer them membership and protection against the threat of the Russians. Alright. And just to help ensure that they do accept, I'm gonna improve relations with all three. So. And Latvia is joined as well, so. That's good. And Poland. Okay. So all the Baltic states joined us, as well as Finland, and kind of interesting. It's that constitutional monarchies and communists all joining together to fight against the Russians. That's definitely an interesting way to go about it. Transit rights in Sweden. Though we have successfully gained a foothold in Scandinavia, transporting troops and equipment through the Danish belts can be hazardous. Convoys can fall prey to enemy air and naval attacks in the open sea. Therefore, minimizing the use of sea lanes as much as possible would be beneficial on our war effort. As such, it may be worth putting pressure on neighboring Sweden to allow us access to their train and communications networks. However, we shall have to act full and chip away gradually at their neutrality if we are to avoid becoming a base of operations for our enemies. Alright. I'll approach them. Alright. That's defense. And Sweden permits. And excellent, we shall avoid frustrating them any further. So. Alright. Let's actually continue on with all these here then. And there. Good. How are we doing on the... Okay, so we have about 6 months yet before that can be done. Okay. Let's... yeah, get a few of these researchers here up. And logistics. And where's the actually, yeah, fleet logistics too. So eventually we are going to essentially restart the naval arms race against Britain. Okay. Commune of is declared war on Spain. So, apparently all of Spain's colonies are breaking away from the country, it would seem. Strangely enough, it seems like the Spanish directory is going to end up on top in the Spanish Civil War if everything keeps on going the way that it is now. Okay. Take them. Alright, and what results we got? Yeah, just that. Alright. Okay. It's the northern people. What? Wait, what just happened? Okay. Oh, a bunch of newsworthy events here, evidently. But Angelus victory in Spanish Civil War. After a long and grueling civil war, the nationalists under Emilio Malo have finally defeated Carlist and Republican enemies and secured full control of Spain. Though isolated pockets of Republican troops continue to wage guerrilla war that may as well hamper the exertion of local nationalist control in previous Republican areas, it is unlikely further coordinated resistance of any significance will occur. As a nation rebuilds its war-torn cities and industries, preparations are being made to transition back to civilian government under Jose Antonio Primo de Rivera, and remains to be seen what Spanish imperialist ambitions may manifest in the current world crisis. And okay. So evidently, the Northern People's Union has been founded. It issued a joint statement that the latter has now formally granted membership and status to the Northern People's Union. This partnership use our offensive defensive capabilities. So, yeah, okay. Well, screw you all then, I suppose. It's not like I wanted you all to join my alliance anyways. Okay, so with that done, let's into the open cooperation sphere. Central Europe possesses many bright minds. Despite this, they are unable to cooperate due to different governments' desires to keep knowledge to themselves. We must encourage closer scientific cooperation with our allies. So, alright. I guess we are essentially just going to stick around with just this whole area here then. Alright. Man, that's disappointing though. I was really hoping to get the Nordic countries on our side, but no. Had to go somewhere else instead. And yeah, fine, we'll give them more aid. And Africa's declared war on the British Empire. So that's interesting. Now they are in war with each other. And interesting enough, it's able to maybe do a whole lot with it. That I was kind of expecting that it would be like another civil war, like everyone else, but evidently not. And military cooperation. Right. Okay. And it's yeah, pool technical know-how. Every nation has their own methods of managing industry and maintaining equipment. We can learn from each other by sending technical teams to disseminate this knowledge among other members of the Alliance. Alright. And what else we got here? And minor test failure. Well, that sucks. And writing protocols. Because of London naval treaties have rendered any real restrictions on submarine deck armament removed. The question remains, however, whether we should prioritize prestige armaments over tactical range. This is our max range. Nah, flexible operations. I'm curious, though. Yeah, I have no idea which one these countries ended up rating the meeting here. Well, at the very least, get a non-aggression pact with Sweden there. Or, not Sweden, Finland, so. Alright. How are we doing on the construction front? Yeah, we're getting there, but not quite there yet. Actually, as we're waiting, I think start building up a few more convoys here. And I wasn't even aware that we had a few ships here under construction, so we will boost that. Alright. And which facility? Major breakthrough. Alright. And yep, we'll continue on with the Navy here then. Let's see, get the submarine hull constructed. Do that. Alright. Look at that. But I do see that it is fast approaching the 3-hour mark, so I think we are probably going to wrap things up here for now. But fear not, though, we absolutely will be getting back to this game at some point. I know normally it would be happening this Friday. However, since this Friday we will be doing our 24-hour Hunt Showdown stream, I will instead just let you all know. Let me just bring up my calendar here on my iPad, just so I can actually see that the next time that we get back to this particular campaign will be May 9th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time at that point. But our next stream, however, is going to be tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll be once again getting back into Fallout 4 with our Brotherhood of Steel Paladin RP, so be sure to stick around for that one. And Ahsoka Tano 12, I do want to thank you as well for the follow and the sub. Definitely appreciate that. And then as we go and bring things to end here this afternoon, let us go and raid our... I'm thinking, yeah, let's go and raid our friend Snake Cobretti. I do see that he is playing some Last of Us 1, and he's a good friend of the community here, so we will go and bring things on over to him with the raid. And if you like what you saw here on Twitch, be sure to hit that follow button and stay up to date on all the content, and even consider subscribing as well. Doing so not only gives you access to a bunch of custom emotes that I have available, but it also gives you ad-free viewing as well. And likewise, if you're watching this later on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button there as well. But at any rate, I still want to thank you all so much for watching and giving me the valuable currency that is your time. And so, until next time, my friends, this is TheBlueBadger, signing off for now. I'll see you guys next time.